What is up, everybody? Back with another video, mate. And today we're gonna be reacting to the real Yungeen versus Foolio story about Publish X. Let's get into it, bro.
Florida's music scene has been at the center of attention for a number of years now. X's passing, YNW Melly's death penalty case, and Kodak being released after a number of years behind bars have all made the media aware of what's going on. But right now, two other artists out of Florida are the ones getting all the attention for their altercations. It's already cost both sides lives and made Jacksonville nothing less than a war zone.
In a shooting that killed an 18-year-old and injured a teenager and a 9-year-old girl.
Police say Kenyatta Bullard, who is also known by his rapper name Yungeen Ace, is charged with
whoever is responsible for the quadruple shooting that hurt Bullard and killed 3 others on Tuesday night. They are encouraging.
This morning, unfortunately, Willie Addison did not. He died of his injuries, and his family.
The parking lot of Hilltop apartment complex says,
Bro, them boys is really crazy. Like, bro, he went in the house and shot a 9-year-old girl, bro.
Adrian Gaynor Jr. They say he was
war with us. Like, they don't want to go to war with me. I'm gonna die about me. You hear me?
From the north side of Jacksonville, 1646 West 45th Street.
Kenyatta, better known as Yungeen Ace, was actually born in Chicago and is one of 12 brothers. This made things difficult for his single mother growing up, which caused him to move around and relocate often before settling in Jacksonville, Florida area.
One thing I never understand, bro, why do you have 12 kids and you don't got it like that? Like, that make no, like, what is the point of you having 12 kids and you don't have it like that? That makes literally no sense at all.
His dad was serving time in prison, which left him without a father figure as well. He mostly looked up to his uncle as the man in his life. But when his uncle passed away when he was just 14, he took to the streets to let out the pain and anger he now had. While in the streets, he searched for an outlet to tell his story. Doing this, he found his passion for music and established his crew, ATK, or Ace to Kill.
I try to get it around to put my mind on the girl, baby. You were so special, I just want to see my body with lasers.
He started dropping music in 2014, but it wasn't until 2018 that things started to take off, with songs like No Witness, All In, and Find Myself. Due to the realness of his music, it didn't take long for him to gain traction and build a following online.
One car, that be stupid hot, it's not legit, nigga. 2 Glocks, I'ma let it pop at it.
Bro, Foolio goes dumb on freestyles, bro. Oh my god, hold on, play that back.
It didn't take long for him to gain traction and build a following online.
One car, that be stupid hot, it's not legit, nigga. 2 Glocks, I'ma let it pop at any bitch, nigga. 3 jits, they just hit a lip for stupid sticks, nigga. The 4th jit told, should've knew he was a snitch, nigga.
Charles, better known as Julio Foolio, was born and raised in Florida's Duval County. He describes his childhood as lacking any type of quality of life. Although he always rapped, he didn't really take it serious until dropping out of school in the 9th grade. He had no money for studio time, leaving him to hustle to make things happen. He began getting noticed in 2015 after dropping songs like Coming Up, which was enough for him to start booking shows and making money off music. He branded himself with his crew KTA, or Kill 'Em All. Over the next couple years, his popularity would increase in Florida's music scene. Yungeen Ace and Julio's beef would start sometime around 2017, over what they say was actually a misunderstanding. It's somewhat unclear what the misunderstanding was, but it quickly led to a battle and then a full-on war.
Yeah, they really
Police say it was in this home where 18-year-old Zion Brown was shot by 19-year-old DeAndre Thomas. GSO says that they now have found.
In 2017, Julio's cousin was murdered inside his home at 1 in the morning. The man who was arrested for the crime was associated with Yungeen Ace, further escalating the beef to another level. Just a year later, in June 2018, Yungeen Ace was getting traction in Florida, but everything was about to change.
Jacksonville police have arrested the only surviving victim of the quadruple shooting that happened near the St. John's Town Center earlier this week.
Police say he had a firearm on him, which is against his probation, of course. So this morning he is in jail.
Got like 4 bullets left in him, bro.
Ace, his brother, and 2 friends were celebrating a birthday party when they were pulled up on. shots rang off in a drive-by shooting.
Bro, then they dumped like 100 rounds into that car. Like, bro, what?
He was shot 8 times and was
rounds?
the only survivor of the 4 people in the car that day, losing his brother and 2 friends. He believed Foolio was one of the shooters, but for obvious reasons, Foolio denies this. He would get all 3 of his brothers tattooed across his stomach before planning a
PTSD
retaliation.
from that? Oh my
Before
God.
Ace could recover, he was already arrested for violating his probation with a firearm. He was put under house arrest, but he used his time to tell his stories and dropped 2 mixtapes and continued to build his buzz. Foolio wasted no time to mock Ace's losses with a few social media posts.
Friends say Addison, his father, and brother were among 6 shot early yesterday morning, leaving the Paradise Gentlemen's Club on Bay Meadows Road.
In January of 2019, a rapper by the name of Boscoon was gunned down after leaving a gentleman's club. Boscoon's brother happened to be Queso, who was Young and Ace's right-hand man. Just 1 month later in February, a 16-year-old who went by the name of Bibi Osama was also killed. He was friends with Foolio. Foolio released his tribute track Bibi's Story online, which helped bring some mainstream attention to him and the war in Jacksonville. ATK Queso responded with a diss track of his own. In the song, he describes how things went down that night, and would actually gain a couple million views.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. He did him so dirty, bro. He stood up.
At this point, KTA and ATK were basically trading body for body as things started to spiral out of control. Foolio would be shot at and had a bullet graze his head, but when he survived, they also went for his girlfriend, who was shot at as well. Foolio would lose 2 more friends, Spaz2X and Rod K, 2 days in a row before going for Ace. Shortly after, in March of 2019, Ace would be the target of another shooting, this time at his hotel in Georgia.
Among this group, a local recording artist who goes by the name Young and Ace. He was not arrested. However, they do believe that this stems from an ongoing conflict.
Once again, Ace survived the shooting, but lost another friend in the process. After 3 men were identified, it came to light that the shooters were from Jacksonville as well, and it was a targeted hit for Ace. With Foolio and KTA raining havoc on Ace and his affiliates, it was only a matter of time before they struck back again themselves.
Location on Merrill Road in Arlington. Sources are telling us that the victim was shot in the head and killed in this parking lot. 2 suspects are on the run and a manhunt is currently underway. I just spoke with a woman.
On January 15, 2020, KTA, Lil Buck, was gunned down in a shopping center in broad daylight. After a police manhunt, the 2 men involved managed to escape through the neighborhood's backyards. ATK member Queso was known for dissing fallen KTA members after losing his brother. He even put their faces on the cover of his mixtape. The shooting that killed Lil Buck was a targeted hit in response to losing his brother Boscoon in 2019. 8 months later, he and his dad were arrested for the murder of Lil Buck, but the beef was far from over. By this point, Foolio and Ace were both getting their names out there musically, but still refused to let the smoke clear. Although most people outside of Jacksonville, Florida didn't know what exactly was going on, it would gain nationwide exposure in March of 2021. On March 28, 2021, ATK members Ace, Spinna Benz, Fast Money Goon, and Wappa with the Choppa would release Who I Smoke. On the outside, it may seem like a funny parody of the song 1,000 Miles, but it was actually another KTA diss, and throughout the song, they disrespect multiple KTA members' deaths.
Yeah.
The song would go viral, but the meaning behind it would go over a lot of uninformed people's heads.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's the best happy birthday, best poster ever. Video shoot,
A month later in April, Foolio responded with an equally disrespectful song, When I See You, this time taking it to another level, not only mocking Ace's brother and 2 friends who died in 2018, but also shooting the video in the cemetery with their pictures. At this point, both sides have refused to leave the beef alone, and with countless losses for both, it doesn't look like it's going to stop here. Both songs would bring their name in front of a new audience of people, but for the wrong reasons. At the end of the day, both these artists and their crews are musically talented.
Jeez, hold on, bro. That ATK chain is
listening,
cuz.
At the end of the day, both these artists and their crews are musically talented. We can only hope they manage to leave the street war behind and focus on their careers, because the music industry can't afford to lose
That
more
boy
potential.
is glistening.
Here's why I speak. I ain't said where I put that little underneath. Same block. Hit him with the same shot. Let out 30 shots, Curry, Steph Curry under the aim block. Post on the block, really on the main block.
Hey, but that's him in the end of this video, bro. Like, oh, this is Carmen. We out of here, guys.